Welcome back to another episode of the Luxury Specialist podcast stream here. I'm your host, Michael LaFido, author of the best-selling book, Secrets of Top Luxury Agents. Again, you can get this on Amazon or Barnes & Noble, and founder of the Lux designation, which we're coming up on our 10-year anniversary on March 31st. I am excited about today's show. We have a lot to cover. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to, if you're watching the live stream, you can type in your question, whether you're watching this on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter. If you're watching a replay of this, you can simply send me an email, michael@marketingluxurygroup.com. Michael@marketingluxurygroup.com is my email. You see it on the screen there, michael@marketingluxurygroup.com. All right, so we are going to be talking about success stories. You know, many times on these podcasts, we bring in a guest that might be a service provider, somebody that helps with lead gen or conversion. Today, we're going to be bringing on an agent who is actually, I'm coaching through a company. Perhaps you heard the big news. I partnered up with Jeff Glover, and we launched a course called Luxury Mastery, and I'm teaching that. It's a 16-week course that we meet weekly, and you can still sign up for that. Shoot me a note if you're interested. But Luxury Weekly, I'm that mystery guy right there that nobody could figure out there. And my kids are like, oh, we could tell that's you. I'm like, well, yeah, you know, because I told you I'm launching this course. So we're excited about the course. We're getting some great feedback, and we're getting immediate results. And that's one of the guests I'm bringing on today. She is getting immediate results. And again, when we're talking results, it's not always about closings. Ultimately, that's how agents pay the bills, but opportunities. We talk about opportunities all the time. Those that have taken my course or have seen me speak before, life is all about opportunities. And in real estate, there's cold opportunities, people that don't know you yet, like you yet, or trust you yet. And then there's warm opportunities, people that know you, like you, and trust you, or have-mets versus have-not-mets. Have-not-mets are people that you're meeting the first time at an open house, okay? Or they get a mailer from you. Those are have-not-mets. Those are have-not-mets. Have-mets are people that know you, like you, trust you, people in your database, your sphere, your CRM. And so it's all about opportunities. And sometimes opportunities are conversations, having conversations with people at the gym, at the supermarket. Literally at the gym this week, I had somebody reach out to me and say, hey, you're that real estate guy, right? I said, yeah, what can I do? He goes, my daughter's buying a house, and there were some items at the home inspection that she wants to know what her rights are. So I ask questions and I point them in the right direction. Again, there's nothing in it for me other than being a good person and top of mind awareness. Maybe when somebody's buying or selling, he'll return the favor. So those are warm opportunities when you have conversations, when people realize you're in the business. Well, today's show is going to be about cold opportunities. In particular, we're going to be highlighting a rock star student of mine out of the Houston market. And she hosted an open house a couple weeks back, and she did so based on my suggestion of stepping out of her comfort zone, as well as others. So long story short, this agent had never hosted an open house at a home above $650,000 prior to a few weeks ago. And that's the backstory. Now I'm going to bring her on and we'll tell you the remaining part of the story here. But the whole point of today is not just highlighting what she's doing, and she's doing a great job, and we want to commend her for that, but also we want to inspire others that if she can step out of her comfort zone and have some immediate success, so can you. So just a reminder, if you have any questions for her or for me, you can type them in the comment section, or if you're listening to this after the fact, you can email me, michael@marketingluxurygroup.com, michael@marketingluxurygroup.com. Just a reminder, if you want to see us live in person, our next in-person training is going to be in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. I know a lot of you might not want to jump on a plane to go out there, but after that, it's going to be on April 16th. We are going to be in Houston. The Houston Association of Realtors brings us down every year. They're the second largest association out there, and we're going to be in 54 days. In 54 days, we will be going down to Houston to teach our class. And I want to share that with you real quick. That is going to be in Houston on the 16th. So let me pull that up on the screen. And that is going to be luxury designation in Houston. There we go. It is in 54 days and 20 hours, if you will, April 16th. And all the event, all the details, it's going to be at HAR Central. You guys can read more about that, but just go to luxurydesignation.com/Houston. And my guest is going to be invited to that at no cost to her as a thank you. I'm surprising her right now as a no cost to her as a thank you for her time today. She can come to that event on April 16th. With that being said, without further ado, I'm going to bring on my guest today, Felita. Felita is out of Houston. Say hi to everybody.
Hey, everyone. And Michael, that was such great news about the April 16th event, and that is free for me. That is outstanding.
I'm going to bring you on to this event. You're going to be you are a rock star already, but we will bring you on as a thank you. I'll bring you to that event, and that's on the 16th. So mark your calendar, okay?
Definitely.
All right, awesome. So, Felita, I kind of set the stage for everybody. How many years, by the way, have you been a licensed agent?
I've actually been licensed for 24 years as of the end of March.
24 years. I got you beat by 1 year. I'm at 25 year. You're 24 years in the industry, and you had a breakthrough recently. You invested in yourself, by the way, which I commend you. 99% of agents don't invest in themselves. You signed up for Luxury Mastery class. It's a weekly class. We're helping agents have breakthroughs just like Felita did. And so tell me a little bit about a light bulb moment. So you've been licensed 24 years. You had never hosted an open house above 650,000. What resonated? You're an implementer, which I love. Most agents, they don't implement. You're an implementer. And that's the difference between doers and dreamers. Okay, doers do. And so what resonated with you on that training a few weeks back that you say, you know what, I'm going to take Mike up on this. I'm going to step out of my comfort zone. And you reached out to this agent that has a big $1.95 million listing.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that I'll share is that at the beginning of the year, I said, something has to change. Last year was not the best year for many agents, myself included. And I just said, this year I have to do something different. And that different thing was I need to host open houses at more expensive homes. Now, having said that, doing it is something different. But sitting in your class and really getting more confidence, quite frankly, more confidence that, all of those myths that you talked about really are myths I found in hosting. So I just decided now is the time, it's early in the year, and I want to be able to see some results before the end of the year. So jumping out.
So you jumped out. And so I'm going to share my screen as well. Let me do this here. I'm going to share my screen where we can literally show some people the house that we're referring to. But so you reached out to this agent. Tell me about some reservations or maybe fears. You knew this agent in this scenario you shared with me, but how did that conversation go? If I'm them, you're calling me. Did you call or did you stop by the office, do it in person?
You know what? I'm going to tell you exactly how it went. I've done open houses for this agent many times in the past, and I've always passed by, the $1 million listings. Like, okay, that's not me. Let me do the 400,000 or the 500,000. And I had never asked to do the $1 million listing. And I said, I'm doing it. I'm just doing it. And, they're quite okay. The agent has plenty of listings, so she appreciates the help. But I tell you, once I did the open house, one of the things that I felt positive about, these people are no different than everybody else that I talked to at 400,000 and 500,000.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And we're gonna talk about that here in a minute. And so this is that property. It's in Houston. It's listed at $1,949,000. This is 3 times higher than the highest open house you ever hosted. Correct me if I'm wrong. The previous high was around 650. And So you hosted an open house. It's a beautiful home, by the way. I looked at the photos earlier. It's a beautiful home. So you hosted an open house here, and uh, so you didn't have a ton of time to prepare for the open house because you did it the week of. Did you visit the home before the open house?
Nope, I looked at the pictures online. I went by and put up my open house sign the day before. We have some new regulations in Texas about, putting up signs and things such as that. But I didn't. I just really visited the online information, looking at the house, and just said, I'm going for it. And to my surprise, in that price range, there were more people that showed up to the open house than any other open house I'd had. I think that weekend I had 25 people.
So you had
25.
25 people. So I want to talk to you about that. But before we do that, so when you made this call, how long has this home been on approximately?
This home's been on the market for about close to 18 months.
Okay, so it's been on for a year and a half now. Some of you are like, wow, that's a long time. Now, mind you, I just sold a home last year that was on the market for over 10 years and almost 10 years with me.
Oh,
But
gosh.
but so 18 months. So on the screen, for those of you watching the live stream, I put what keeps the agent awake at night. So Felita and I talked about this in my coaching session, and I said, listen, if an agent's got a home that's new on the market, they might not be as open to this. Perhaps they are if they got a lot of listings. But in this case, this has been on the market for a long time. So what keeps this agent awake at night when they have I don't want to call it a stale listing, but a stale listing. It's been on 18 months.
Yeah.
So what keeps this agent awake at night is what? I mean, I didn't even prep you for this, but we've covered this a little bit. What
Sure.
In this case, Felita, what do you think kept this agent awake at night?
Well, she has clients, sellers, who are anxious to get it sold and want to know why it's not selling, why there's fewer showings or whatever the case may be with that. But you've got an agent who has a client to satisfy.
Mhm.
And, the open houses actually show activity that we are doing something to get the property actually sold.
So you hit the nail on the head. So what keeps this agent awake at night is I have a listing that I got to keep the sellers happy. I got to get this thing sold. And perhaps she hasn't hosted open houses there. So Felita is providing a solution potentially where it's a win-win. I'm all about win-wins. It's a solution where she's helping the agent, and the agent directly and indirectly with Felita hosting the open house is helping the seller. So it's what we call a win-win. So that is something that I wanted to make sure we put on the screen. So those that are listening understand the most listened to radio station that a listing agent listens to. What's in it for them? What's in it for them? What's in it for them? So Felita approached it and this is what we teach is how to present something that's a win-win, and you're providing a potential solution for a void that they can't fill, or for a scratch that they can't get at. And that could be potentially bringing in this case, 25 people. So now let's go to that. So you host the open house, you prepared, you hadn't been to the house beforehand. You go to the open house. What time of the day? Was it a Saturday? Was it a Sunday? What was the time of the day of the open house?
Actually, it was 3 to 5. I had another open house earlier, so I did 3 to 5. But I like to do generally a little bit longer. But you do what you have to do on any given day.
3 to 5. And what time did you get to the home?
About 2:30.
Okay, about a half hour ahead of time. And I'm putting you on the spot with some of this stuff, so I appreciate your transparency. Approximately how many signs did you put out?
I'm going to be honest with you. The house is near a very busy intersection. It's residential, but it's on a very busy street, which is probably why it's been on the market as long as it has. But it's always recommended that we put out 10 to 15 signs. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't do that.
Okay.
I should have, but I didn't.
Yeah,
but that just goes to show that the location of the home and the school district, which is key that it's in, is really what was driving a lot of people to the open house, in spite of the fact that maybe I didn't put as many signs up as, we typically do.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know. I appreciate that. And so you got there about a half hour. You didn't get as many signs out as you typically do. Talk to me a little bit about, did you put anything on the front door? Did you require anything? Because one of the things that we teach in particular, if you have a high net worth homeowner, a luxury listing, if they are uneasy about looky-loos or who's coming through the home, you can't really pre-qualify people at a public open
Yeah.
house. Uh, we've recommended anything from putting something on the front door, photo ID required, or seller request photo ID and signing in before touring the home. Anything like that?
Actually, I did. Texas has some different rules, some that have just come into play about unrepresented customers. So, people don't always want to sign in. And if you have multiple people at the same time, it's hard to orchestrate,
Yes, it is.
So I actually put a sign on the front door on pink paper. They could not miss it. That said, you must sign in. And I reference a Texas, law,
Yeah.
Texas such and such law. And if this does not work for you, I'm sorry, but I can't show you today.
Good for you.
So it's
Awesome.
like, I don't know how it's going to work out, but everybody came in. Where do I sign? Where do I sign? So it
Yeah.
worked.
Well, in Illinois, it's not required, but that's a requirement that we make as well. It's unconventional. We sold a home in Geneva, Illinois it was listed at 3.5 million. And ultimately the buyer ended up being 10 doors down. But we
Wow.
made a suggestion to that owner about hosting an open house. We said it's unconventional in this price point, but there's two avenues, two ways of looking at it. Nobody else is doing it, so we shouldn't do it, or nobody else is doing it, so we should do it. And so
Right, right.
I got the seller to agree to an open house. We had 10 people through, and we had a team member there that was there for overflow. We had somebody up in the primary walk-in closet because they were having an estate sale, selling a bunch of those items, including purses and shoes, just to make sure that that area was secure. And the buyer didn't come from Chicago or out of the area. The buyer came from 10 doors down. So you just don't
Wow.
know. Literally
Good.
10 doors down they came from. So you just don't know sometimes. So tell me a little bit about, now let's go on. So you're hosting the open house. You had 25 people through in 2 hours. That's a lot of traffic. Tell me about how did you build some rapport with people, which isn't easy when you want to meet and greet and make sure everybody feels comfortable.
Right. So just for sake of clarification, the 25 people was over the course of 2 days. So 12 one day and maybe
Thank you
13-ish
for
the other day, something like that. So it
that.
wasn't
Okay.
quite a madhouse.
Sure.
But when people come in, certainly I greet them, I go over, introduce myself, shake their hand and ask them, how can I help you today? What are you looking for? And I think that's key because in order to know how to help them, you have to know what they're looking for, what they need. What problem are you trying to solve? Do you need extra bedrooms? Do you want a swimming pool? Are you moving out of a townhouse? Whatever that is, it helps me to know how to, continue the conversation and really find out, what their motivation is. And
Yeah.
so that's how I introduce, they tell me what they're looking for, and then I let them tour the home on their own and ask them to stop back and we'll chat about what questions they have.
That's great. So building rapport, asking good questions, being a great listener. And from that, that's an opportunity. And
Yeah.
life is all about opportunity and conversations. Jeff Glover, who I mentioned, our course, Luxury Mastery, we partnered with Jeff. He's doing amazing stuff for people in the industry. He talks about having conversations. He says, according to Jeff, if you want to make $1 million as an agent, you got to have 150 conversations a week.
Yes.
But conversations, good things happen when you talk to people. You can't be shy in this industry. I like to say shy real estate agents have skinny kids. You can't be shy. You got to talk to people. You got to let people know. Got to always have business cards. But my point is, you had conversations, and from that conversations with one particular couple, you found out that this house might be a good fit, but they wanted to go explore and look at other homes. And so, what came of that? You ended up showing them what?
I showed them a $3 million house.
You showed them a $3 million listing where you were hosting an open house at a $1.95 million listing that had been on for about 18 months, a stale listing. You had never hosted an open house above 650. You did 3 times that this weekend. And you end up getting a buyer that you built rapport with, and you showed them a $3 million home. Is that right?
That's right. And let me tell you how a little bit more about how that happened. Of course, building the rapport as you talked about is just so key. Ask questions, some lighthearted banter, things such as that. But what I also did from a previous open house that I had, I found out that people were looking at that house because of the schools. And so I heard that repeatedly and repeatedly. And so the next time I did the open house, which is when the $3 million buyer showed up, is that I have a portfolio of all the homes zoned to these schools. Would you like to take a look? And they looked through that portfolio. It was probably 50, 75 homes that I had pictures and all of that. And they said, yeah, we kind of like this one. I said, hey, would you like to go see it? I can show you today. And unfortunately, it ended up being the next day, but the result was the same. I continued to build rapport and show my value.
So just so I could understand clearly, you hosted the open house Saturday and Sunday. On Saturday, you heard a lot of banter about the schools being really important. And so on Sunday, when you hosted the open house, I don't want to say you came more prepared, but you adapted.
I did.
You implemented based on some feedback, and you came prepared with other homes that were available in that school district. Is that correct?
That's right.
Yeah, so I appreciate your transparency. She's an implementer, as you can see. She's a quick learner, which is important. 24 years in this industry, which I love, because sometimes people, they get stuck in their ways, and sometimes it's easier to mold an agent that's been licensed 24 months versus 24 years. But you're hungry. You want to have an amazing year. You invested in yourself in coaching in our luxury mastery, so that's amazing. And so you showed them the place. It wasn't the best fit. Is that correct?
That's right.
But you're still out there talking to them, seeing what else might be available, or they might be interested in this open house that you showed them, right? The house that
right.
They might have some interest in this house still. Is that correct?
That's right. That's right.
Awesome. So I want part of the reason I wanted Felita on here is she's an implementer. She's doing amazing things. But I also wanted to be inspirational. If you don't mind me asking, what's the highest home that you had sold up to this point?
Probably 600. And that was a few years ago, which that $600,000 house now would be on the market for probably 800.
Yeah. So totally stepping out of her comfort zone, not just hosting an open house, 3 times the highest that she's ever hosted an open house, but also a little over 3 times the highest she's ever sold. And guess what? It's all about unbelievable listening, and I call it Ritz-Carlton silver platter service. And so she's a great listener. She cares. She comes across as not salesperson-y, but caring, and I call that a trusted advisor. And so that's how you attract more opportunities. She positioned herself as a leading authority on Sunday by coming prepared with a binder full of other properties. So just amazing success stories after each other. And so one of the things that I mentioned to Felita on our last coaching call is, okay, now as an agent, how can you leverage, this isn't your listing at the 1.9, this isn't your listing at the 3 million. How can you leverage this experience showing this $3 million home to help position yourself to maybe attract more buyers or sellers in that price point? Remember, we had that conversation?
Yeah.
And then I followed up with you with an email, correct?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, was that helpful?
Absolutely. Absolutely. One of the things that was so helpful with the information that you provide in the email, I'm a little new at social media, not new at social media, but really marketing, and it's like, okay, Michael, can you help me with, hook and caption and whatnot? So extremely helpful there to, know exactly what to say, because that's something that I am working on as well and, working to get better at. So your help was definitely on point.
Well, thank you. And I love your transparency. If you don't mind, 24 years in the industry, what are some of the things that have held you back with social media and real estate?
Well, I'll answer that in 2 ways. With social media, when I first started in the industry, there was no social media. We had other resources to people to partner with that provided insight and said, oh, here's someone that you can help, etc. Well, now that we're in the world of social media, it's so different. And I'm used to social media, just, being social, but I'm not used to marketing on social media and getting in front of a camera. So that was new. as well. And Michael, your other question was?
Well, just your comfort zone. Was there something that was holding you back? Maybe did you have some limiting beliefs, something that, for whatever reason, has has limited your social media presence, particularly when it comes to real estate and postings or videos?
Yeah, I would say the other point I think that's important is on the higher end luxury pricing, getting on and marketing that. That's a little bit outside of my comfort zone. I mean, I don't travel in high net worth circles every day. I mean, certainly I do some, but not every day. So sometimes in your mind, you think, well, maybe I don't know enough. Maybe I haven't sold enough of those houses. Maybe, can I fake it till I make it? All of those different things that kind of hold you back. And I just said, at this point, I don't care. At this point, I do not care. I have to do what I have to do. I want to move up into this price point level, and I'm just going to do it. And that's why I signed up for your class.
Oh, that's great. I'm proud of you. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for stepping out of your comfort zone by all means. And this interview with Felita, I hopefully is very inspiring to you. So for anybody that wants to find you on the web, or you're out of the Houston market, what brokerage are you with?
I am with Keller Williams Memorial, located centrally here in the Galleria area.
All right, perfect. And what's your website?
Felita House Fontenot. House is actually my name. People always question that.
Oh, wow.
So Felita House, I'm found on the Houston Association of Realtors website, as well as Keller Williams Memorial. Keller Williams
House,
Memorial.
Man, what a last name. We could create a unique value proposition and a marketing campaign just based on your last name.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
Okay, let's do that. It might be another show, creating your unique value proposition. I mean, I don't know what I'm good friends with a guy in the industry. His name's Haas Pratt. I'm like, Haas, man, that's a Texas name, Haas.
It is.
A last name of Sold or House. I mean, that's probably we could do a lot of good things with that. So that's awesome, Felita. So hey, I just want to thank you for your time. Keep raising the bar. I know I'll see you on another coaching session soon, but keep implementing. Out of curiosity, any open houses lined up this weekend?
Oh, you know it.
All right, good. Same one or a different one?
No, same one, same price point. I'm getting good results and meeting so many new people to add to my database and to share my portfolio. So no, I'm going for broke on this one.
Good for you. Go for broke. And if I might give a recommendation, don't be shy. If the listing agent's okay with it, get some video. Maybe do a promo video ahead of time. Hey, it's Felita here. Come out tomorrow. I'm going to be hosting an open house at this amazing home listed for $1.95 million. It features A, B, C, D. This is me talking to my camera, by the way, if I'm doing a live stream. And so step out of your comfort zone. Do one before, do one during, maybe do one after. Leverage, I call it OPP. You down with OPP? Leveraging other people's properties with their permission, of course. Okay, so that'd be one thing I'd recommend you to take it to the next level to help position you as a leading authority. Build trust, build rapport, and put yourself out there. Okay, Felita?
I'm doing it.
All right, proud of you. Thank you. I'll see you Monday, by the way, and we'll talk about our coaching session, how it went. Okay.
Thanks so much. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Again, for anybody else that is interested in cutting edge strategies, again, this is less than a half hour. If you'd like to learn from me a full day training, our next training is coming up in Houston. All the details can be found at luxurydesignation.com/Houston. luxurydesignation.com/Houston. It's April 16th. Felita will be there. Come meet Felita. And we'll have some other agents. We're probably going to do a top agent panel where I interview some top local luxury agents. The event's at the Houston Association of Realtors. They call it HAR Central. One of their main offices there. It's going to be amazing. We can't wait for it. Again, 0 previous luxury sales are required to get certified in luxury and take the Lux designation. If you are struggling and you need a payment plan, reach out, shoot me an email, michael@marketingluxurygroup.com. Again, my name is Michael LaFido. It's been a pleasure. Again, when somebody tells you you can't do something, I hope you say to yourself, like Felita, I'm going to prove them wrong. She's been in the industry 24 years and she stepped out of her comfort zone. If Felita can do it, so can you. My name is Michael LaFido. Keep raising the bar. Until next time, you're watching another episode of the Luxury Specialist Podcast. Again, I'm here to answer any questions. Michael at marketingluxurygroup.com. Michael at marketingluxurygroup.com. Until next time, you guys have an amazing day. Take care, everybody.